Let's try that again. All right, I think it's working now. I can see some animation. All right, so I was talking about Trae AI. This is an IDE, just like Windsurf and Cursor. Exactly the same. They're all forks of VS Code. So once you install it, all of your fun VS Code things are going to be up on the side. We've got Klein over here. And everything else is the same. The file system, everything is pretty much the same. And it's using Claude 3.5 Sonnet under the hood. That's the only one we've got access to. But yeah, so I've opened up a project in here. It's just a local directory site. I'm still figuring out the best way to do this. Oh, there we go. Error. But the reason I'm using this, the only reason I'm using this right now over Windsurf, which is what I built the tool in the website in initially, is that it's free. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. You can tell I'm just not used to streaming. Where's the screen? There we go. We've got our favorite kind of error, server error. I'll just paste that in there and hope it fixes it. But yeah, I'm using this. It's free, and I get to test the different. Things that I'm trying to build. So hello. Okay, pass it. Come. Yeah, I get to test the different things. Here you go. Here you go. I get to test all the different things that I want to build. So right now I'm trying to connect WordPress to have WordPress as a backend. And I know it's possible. I've just never done it before. So I'm not going to do that on the live because there's so many different screens that you have to go through, and I'm not prepared for that. But when I'm using this, I'm getting to test all of this stuff for free, just like when Windsurf first came out. You use as much as you could, and then they slap a price on it, which is fine. But I do have some concerns about using these tools, especially as when something is free, you're the product. So, I don't know who's behind this. I don't know who's behind Trae AI, but I'm hoping that everything is safe and nothing's being installed on my computer. But yes, if you're on the fence, if you've been using Lovable or Bolt and you wanted to try an IDE, an actual desktop IDE, you can do all kinds of things that you can't do in Lovable and Bolt because you've got Python that you have access to. And of course, you don't have to know how to use it. You can just tell the AI to do this or create a script that does this. And that's how I've been able to do programmatic SEO, because I can give it a CSV and I can tell it what I want it to do with the CSV. I can create hundreds, thousands of different pages, which is how I'm doing my directory sites. But now it's having issues. I think these network issues have been happening since more and more people are using the tool, which makes sense. Again, same thing happened to Windsurf. The tools just start slowing down. So it's not actually fixing what I'm asking it to fix. But we're going to work through it. And in the meantime, let's see if it's going to do this. Looking at the error message, I noticed the text rotate component path is incorrect. And it just goes through the file, and then you have to do accept all. So exactly the same. I'm not sure what angle these companies are going to be going at to make their product stand out, but it's a fun time to have access to these tools. And again, for anybody who is on a low budget and you want to try building with these tools, this is a perfect one to start with. Let's see if it's fixed it though. Okay, it fixed it, but now I thought there was a page there. Let's see. Let's see. But you do have to have this connected to Supabase. If you want to do dynamic content and you want to import a CSV sheet, you have to have somewhere to manage it. I wouldn't recommend trying to create TSX files of each individual page. You definitely want to have it in Superbase, and then you can get it. That's when you can start to do all kinds of different dynamic content. So if you've got a CSV full of data and you give that to Superbase, that's when you can start creating the vector search and all kinds of stuff that you couldn't. And again, I mentioned it before, but these directory sites, if nothing's different about this right now, it's got everything that you can find online. It's exactly the same. It's just collated in one place, but you want to be able to add something different. So I would have the reviews, I'd have all the images scraped, and then I'm going to use AI to write a unique description about the company based on those reviews. So many things that we can do. But I wanted to talk about Micro-SaaS. So this is a directory site. It's not a Micro-SaaS. I need to share another screen. And I'm going to give a shout out to, how do I get this over there? Is that being shared? Let's share this other screen. I need to give a shout out to Paul. Paul. Can I get his X up? Paul. Oh wow, he just pops up. This is Paul. Follow Paul, give Paul a follow. But he's got this free sheet, so I'll put the link in the description. He's the founder of Low Fruits. He created it and sold it last year, I think. It's a keyword research tool. So it's fair to say he knows quite a bit about keywords, keyword research, and also SaaS. So he's created this CSV, and it's got all of these different AI generator keywords and the search volume, and this is completely free. And if you're looking for ideas of things to create, so we're all playing around with these tools, but the next step is, how do I actually make something that's worth being out on the market that I can make money from? And these micro SaaSes are a great way to start. So of course you do need to go check out the competition. Some are easier to create than others. So some are going to require different APIs, Python, and having to set all of that up. But some of them are very simple. So I made a lyric generator a while back, and I've done really well with that. And I used AI to do that. So I had that embedded in my WordPress site. And that's another thing. You don't actually have to use these code gens to create them. It's much easier, but you can also just make it with HTML, CSS, and then put it on WordPress. So there are many things that you can do, but go and check this out. Let me just share the link. Let me share the link in the chat. You check out that free document. And I got the premium one as well, actually. So there is an upsell in there if you want to get the premium one where he's organized everything. I'm not going to show that for too long, but that's a good one. But yeah, so you can just go through this list and look at the competition. You can see the search volume and try and make a tool that outranks, that's better than the top ranking one. So let me see what we've got for AI business plan generator. After the sponsored searches, let's check this one out. Okay, so what I would do, I'd make mine just immediate, is right on the front page, so they don't have to go through all of this, like logging in and all of that stuff. I would just make it very easy to get to. Let me just trying to find another one. This is all you would do. You just go and check, or go to Perplexity, see what's out there. So a good one. There is going to be high competition for some of these, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to find ones that are outdated, old school, very, very clearly something that you could create better with AI. And then you don't have to make it exactly the same way. So you don't have to make it as basic as that. You can add AI. You can add AI insights into it, and that's automatically going to boost the value of the tool. So what's AI? color palette generator. I think Canva's winning with that one. I can't remember. AI house plan generator. That might be a cool one. Reference generator. But these aren't tools that you would be selling a subscription for. I would just monetize it by ads. Most of the time, it would be an ad thing or a free credit thing. So you could limit how many free tries they get in a day. And then if they want to get more credits, then they can just buy that. So a one-time fee, no subscription, just something really simple. AI title, YouTube title generator. But some of these sites, some of these keywords, they get a lot of traffic. So creating that free tool, Hootsuite's got one, and even finding tools that you can add to your SaaS. So adding micro-SaaSes on for SEO, that's a good shout as well. So let me see. I just want to build one. So AI YouTube title generator. That's going to require me to add the API. So there was one that I was looking at before. It was a conversion tool. I'm trying to share that screen. I need to set up my OBS because this screen sharing thing is not going very well. Yeah, let me create a new one. Do a new file. Let's do a new folder. So I'm going to do a title case converter. Okay, and this is not the way I would usually prompt. Of course, I've got my entire document to prompt properly, but this is what we're doing now. We're going to say create a title case converter tool. That's all we're going to give it. That's all we're going to give it. But again, get the document if you don't have it already to create your web app or your apps, and then just at least, if you don't want to sit down and make a whole plan, at least just give that to ChatGPT, tell it your idea, and then use that documentation. But somebody said, let me see, have you factored in what licensing the no-code tools give you for the products that you create? No, I've not looked into that. And this is actually my point. A lot of these things that are popping up, I don't know what the intellectual property, I don't know what any of that is. I've not looked into any of that. I just assume that we install it, we create our code, and that's it. It's ours. But we do know that these tools do and are collecting data. So there's no way that this is free and not collecting information to improve its service. And it probably says that already. It's just that we don't really read these things. Or maybe I'm speaking for myself. But this, I'm not making anything serious in this. I know that what you create in Bolt and Lovable and things like that, those are yours. They've said that. So this is me testing things out. But generally, I think that these are ours. We own them. I have no idea. I can actually, let me ask Perplexity and see what it says. If you've not checked out the Perplexity deep research, that's another one to check out as well. That's amazing. Let me just share the actual screen over there. Be easier. So all of the tools we create in these IDEs, like Alt.new, add in Trae AI, Cursor, etc. Do we own the code? I don't know if that's a good question, but it's going to do some deep research and then come back with something. So that's a good question. Do we own it? What is the licensing? What is it? Because nobody's really spoken about any of that stuff, I don't think. We're just having fun building, but nonetheless, they are here and we can create with them. What's it says? So it's gonna take a while. It's gonna go through that research. Put that back over there. So, I was in chat. Make sure you switch to builder. So now I need to tell it to do that again because chat and builder mode do not seem to talk to each other, which is kind of strange. But I'm just gonna copy this over into builder, and I love that it automatically will bring up the web view. So I think I still have to do npm run dev. I'm not sure, but I'll help you create a title case converter web application. I'll create 3 files, HTML for structure, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, it's interesting. It's just making it in JavaScript. It's quite basic. I probably should have told it. It's going to be very, very basic looking. Let's bring this terminal up. It's me being too quick. It's not ready yet. Let's try that again. Oh wait, actually, this is not okay. It's made with JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. That's why. Let's make it with React. Let's make it better. And Perplexity is still researching. That's the wrong screen. Perplexity is still researching. It's going through all of these steps. So 42 sources. And it says ownership of AI-generated code in modern development environments. The rapid integration of blah, blah, blah. Legal foundations of code ownership in AI-assisted development under most jurisdictions. Copyright protection requires human authorship. United States. I just kind of looking for a yes or no. Platform-specific terms of service. Okay, Cursor explicitly states users retain ownership of all code, including AI-generated suggestions, while AnySphere, Cursor's developer, maintains rights to its underlying technology. Yes, fair. Bolt.new grants users ownership of generated code, but reserves rights to its AI models and infrastructure. Again, normal. Trae AI allows users to retain code ownership, but claims broad usage rights for training and service improvement. Again, I think that makes sense because it's free and they are obviously looking at what we're doing to improve their code and whatnot. So fair, I think. GitHub Copilot assigns output ownership to users while disclaiming responsibility for code. Okay, cool. Yeah, kind of what I expected. Again, Windsurf was free because they were doing the same thing. They have to analyze what we're doing to improve their service. So that makes sense. But so this thing, it built it with CSS and JavaScript. So I didn't really want that. So I'll help you rebuild the title case converter using React for a more modern and maintainable solution. So yeah, specify so it doesn't try and do that. Specify what you want it to build it with. Where's that sheet gone? Let me see what else we've got on the sheet. Too many tabs. Too many tabs. Let me see. Let me see the difference between the premium one. Okay, so the premium one has categorization. So PDF generators are just, they're so easy. I've made a bunch of those before these tools. They're so easy and they drive so much traffic to your site. Volume, weak website. So top 10. Okay, to see if it's a weak website. Weak website, top 3. Actually, I don't know. Okay, the number of weak websites in the top 10. number of weak websites in top 3. That's actually a good metric. Again, not far from what Low Fruits actually does, which is cool. And Google Calculator, does it have a Google Calculator? Yeah, so convert centimeters to inches obviously has a Google Calculator to do that. And you can just go through the list and check out what's worth doing, what's worth making. I've not tried giving this to Perplexity and just getting it to do the work to research for me, but yeah, that's cool. And AI generator tool, and then these ones are just specifically generator ideas. So less information here, just the search volume. AI generated quiz, AI generator human. But some of these are, the keywords are the same as other like AI generators. Some of these keywords are just mistyped as well. So as you go lower down, there's lower competition, but they're just a variation of another big keyword. But I saw somebody's title case converter, and as the pages are very well SEO'd, but you can definitely make something and then throw some links, some citation links in there and try and rank. So good opportunity there. But Trae AI is not allowing me to really test it out and show you guys and do a proper live build because it seems to be moving quite slow. It's trying to rebuild the thing it built initially. So I can't really test it out. Okay, let's see. Let's see what it's doing now. Current directory is empty. Yeah, this is taking a lot longer. I think more people are on this tool now. More and more people have heard about it, especially as it launched this Windows application, I think a day ago. So that would have automatically doubled the amount of people using it. The early adopters. But there are so many of these tools popping up. I've had quite a few messages from development teams developing their own different AI tools. I wonder if they're making them in Cursor and Windsurf. I wonder if they're making them. I've not actually tried creating, but there must be a wireframe because they all look the same. They're all using VS Code. So it's the time to create shovels, I guess. I think generally these micro-SaaSes, and these are just micro tools, I guess. I wouldn't really call them micro-SaaSes. But these micro tools and directory sites are a good way if you're just getting into creating with these tools. They're a good way to learn how to use these tools and test things out, because with each of them, if you're with the micro tool, if you're not selling credits, if you're not selling the service, then you don't get to connect, or you don't have to connect to Stripe. But with a directory, if you're selling the ability to claim their account, then you can connect it to Stripe and test that workflow out, because those are the biggest roadblocks for people. That Stripe integration. I've seen people, to avoid doing webhooks, I've seen people just do links and then set up the return link, and so it makes sense to just learn how to do webhooks. It's a lot of headache. It cost me many tears, but it's worth doing, because once you've done it, you know how to do it. So check it out. I don't know if you'd want to test it out on something like this where it's you're not sure where the information's going. I'd say never, ever, ever put your API keys, your secret keys, or anything like that in the chat box. Never, ever, ever. They tell you not to do it too. So, but you're safe to put them in the terminal. This is your computer. So get it to set up CLI. So the Stripe CLI, Superbase CLI. I'm not sure how it handles the .env file, if it actually reads the contents, because sometimes I've even seen Windsurf say, I can't see the contents of your .env, but it knows what's in it. So it knows it can reference those things. But generally, just don't, in any of these, ChatGPT, Bolt.new, Lovable, never put your sensitive information in these boxes. Just don't do it. Try to, have it in your .env. Make sure things get ignored. Let me see if this is working. Is it working? But yeah, if you wanted to test Stripe, you can use the Stripe CLI and then set up your test webhooks. And yeah, that's the only way to do it. It's just to test it out, run through it, be very thorough when you're going through everything, and then you'll get there. You'll get there. That's the next. I had a live this morning in the idea to MVP group, and we were covering prompt engineering. So the first step is ideation and verifying your idea, doing the keyword research. The next step is prompt engineering, so doing your MVP outline, making sure that you have your documentation in order so the AI follows you along the way. So you're not just giving it the initial prompt and leaving it to it, making sure that it follows your direction throughout the entire process. And that's what the prompt engineering for web dev is all about. It's just making sure you define clearly what you want, give it your vision, and then trying to get it to stay on track with rules files and whatnot. After that, it is actually building, so working in the IDE, and that's the third step of that. And then it's just iteration, but trying to get it to do what you want it to do. I'm not sure what's going on. This is not a good demo. It's not a good experience because nothing's happening. It's just slowly thinking and being really slow. So maybe the time to use Trae was a couple days ago, before it became more popular, before more people started using it, and before it opened up to Windows, because I don't get to display it. So maybe that's the maybe I wrap up this live then, because if I can't show you, then what's the point? Yeah, I don't actually know. I don't actually know what I could do right now if it's not working. I could do it in Windsurf, I guess. So what was the create a title case converter tool? See if we can just do this in Windsurf. Actually, let me. You can hear noise in the background. I'm homeschooling at the moment, so once I come off this live, it's right back to it. Title case converter. Yeah, so this is the top one. They've covered all angles, so the different types. Sentence case, lowercase, I thought they've got other things. They've got the API. Very, very optimized, very well optimized. But if you look, you can see it's monetized by ads. So they're definitely getting a lot of, let's see, what's the search volume? 6,600 monthly searches, and that's on that one keyword. So definitely a lot more. Let me see what we've got. Title case. Okay, that one's in Excel. Convert uppercase to lowercase in Excel. Regardless, there's going to be a bunch of different keywords, but from that one keyword, that's a monthly search volume of 6,600, and they're at the top. So with the ads that they've got going on, I'm not sure who's going to be scrolling down to read all of that, but nonetheless, it's monetized by ads. It's not a service that they're saying, it's just monetized by ads. And that's the win with those tools. You don't have to create a product. I'm not asking anybody for anything. You're just giving them the tool they want. They'll bookmark it and come back to, or they'll Google search it every time and click on your one. And with those tools, that's what you do. You're not looking for a specific brand. The aim is to get to the top. Unless they clicked on it and it didn't give them what they wanted, or it was too hard to get to. Like I mentioned with the other tool, it looked like there was too much to do, like you have to log in. So when a tool is very basic, just keep it simple. Think about how when you go to like a PDF converter, you just want it to be there, upload your file, get your outcome, and then leave. So if you're doing these, if you're going through the list and you're looking for ones that you can build, look for how easy it is. Look for if they've got a lot of friction for the user. And if they do, then you can do it better. And again, a lot of them look like this. So no disrespect to whoever's site this is, but a lot of them look like this. They've been here for a long time. They've been working. I don't think people necessarily care what they look like. They're not going to click off of it and go to that looks better. But it does offer you a lot of opportunity to, again, just make something better. And we now have Perplexity, so you can Perplexity Deep Research, so you can analyze what could be done better. So how could I, if I wanted to rank higher, what would I do? You can just ask those questions and then it will make suggestions. So it will tell you this one's missing this, add that. But I like this one because it actually gives you an example of what the cases look like. So yeah, Trae, where are we? Where are we with this build? Again, this is free, so I shouldn't actually be complaining. It's free. Okay, so it's doing stuff now. Let's create basic React application. So that whole time it was deleting the things it had created. It created the HTML, the CSS, and it had to go back and delete those. Now it's creating the app. This just gives more flexibility. But again, if you wanted to build a tool to put into WordPress, it's a bit of overkill right now to open something like this, when you can just do it in ChatGPT. You can get it to create an entire HTML, CSS. You can get it to do it all in one snippet. So you can put it in the HTML box, or you can install something like Code Snippets and then add the CSS and HTML and JavaScript separately. But you wouldn't need to do this for sure. Let's see what it's done. So this is one of the benefits of these desktop versions, is just installing all the, well, you could do this on Bolt, but the Python libraries and things like that, the scraping, all of that stuff you can do in these. So what I'm probably going to do later on today is test the WordPress backend, build something out. So probably with that directory site, have WordPress as a backend. Okay, it's still not. But just like Cursor, you can just go add to chat any of the broken code and things like that. You can just add it to chat and reference it. It's working now. And then this pops up to give you the web view. What? That's not it. That's not it. I've still got that running in the other. Okay, I need to tell it. I already have a program running on localhost 3000. Hey Jaden, I'm not building anything in particular. I was testing out this sheet. Where is it gone now? I just closed it. I was testing out this sheet. I've left the link in the description, but I've got this sheet full of AI plus generator tool ideas, so keywords. And yeah, it's a free list of generation of tools that you can use, that you can generate with the IDE, and then just make a micro-SaaS. So I'm not building anything crazy. I'm trying to build a title case converter, but it's opening up my directory site. And okay, let me just tell it, let's run this on 3. So I'm just really testing out Trae AI. So I don't know if you've heard of that, but it's free right now. So that's why I'm using it. It's the same as Windsurf and Cursor, but I recommend using this free one if you're just getting used to Windsurf or, desktop IDEs. And I recommend checking something like this out. So let me change this over now. No, it's still doing it. Still doing it. So we won't use the web view. We've got it here. So this is what it created. I don't know if it works. Let me grab some text. Paste that in. Yeah, it works. So very, very basic, but it works. That's the main thing. And then what you'd want to do is in Windsurf, you can give it the URL and tell it to analyze it. So you can clone entire sites in Windsurf. So I don't know if Trae AI has that. So let me just see. Let me see if it can. Let me see. Check this site out. Let's make our tool better. And it's going to tell me if it can or cannot access the internet. I notice we can enhance our title case converter by adding more features similar to the reference site. I don't believe you actually read it. Let me see. Okay, it just knows that it can do better, or maybe it has an understanding of this site because that site looks like it's been around for a while. Yeah, so it's gonna make those enhancements. We're gonna see it in real time here, but I wanted to test if it has access to the internet, which is the main thing. So Windsurf now, I don't know if Cursor does it as well now, but you can just clone an entire site, or at least the wireframe, so the front end of it. You can just clone any site. I've seen Netflix clones. I think I made one as well in one of my videos. Spotify clones. Of course, the back end is a whole different story, but they can visit these pages and create. Okay, so now we've got this, adding more things. And you really just have to see how you can make it better than the top ranking one, and then build links. The cheap links will do with a lot of these things as well. When I say cheap links, I mean like citations and things like that. So you don't have to go and do a major Haro link building campaign and spend thousands. You just do the basic links with these things, and they call them foundation links. Okay, well, I think that's all I'm gonna do today. I do have to plan my lives better. It's a process. I will get the OBS and things set up. I've got a Stream Deck. I just don't use it for streaming. I use it for shortcuts. So again, probably a bit of overkill to buy an entire Stream Deck for shortcuts. So let me just check the chat quickly. I've been using Trae AI this morning. Miguel, how do you find it? Do you like it? What were you using before it? Is it your first IDE, or were you using something else before it? On the builder mode, Trae is using Claude. Yeah, that's right. Claude 3.5. So lots of these tools are using Claude 3.5 under the hood. Of course, with other things, they're all context aware, which is what makes them be able to go through all the files rather than just, it's not the same as just using Claude in the browser, of course. The directory looks cool. No, I have never heard of it. Just been building with Bolt. Yeah, so Bolt and Lovable, they're in the same boat. They're very similar. But once you want to build, so I would run into roadblocks frequently when I would build certain things and then I wanted to do the dynamic content. So you can do that in Superbase. Superbase is so powerful. So powerful beyond anything that I've seen, because there are so many things that you can do. Like once you set up the cron jobs, if you've got on my directory site, I bring that back up. On my directory sites, what I tend to do the dynamic content. So when you come on the page, it's going to load a unique description. It caches that in Superbase, so that will stay there for like 30 days, and then it will refresh based on any information that's changed on the page. So if other reviews have been scraped, they automatically show up, and then it will adjust the description based on that. So there's a whole chunk of text here helping it rank. And yeah, and that's done through Superbase, but I had to move it over to Windsurf. I had to move it over to a desktop IDE in order to run the Python script. And those are the limitations that you have that you don't have with these desktop ones. So when you're ready to take it to the next level, you're going to have to move it out of Bolt to build up the back end. Did I use Trae to build a directory? No, I didn't. I used Windsurf. I think I started it in another tool. I've not heard back from them. It's called, let me see. Is it this one? That's not it. I can't find it. I think it was called Creator. But let me check my messages. Yeah, where have they gone? That's crazy. There's so many of these. It's hard to keep track. But I spoke to the founder of it, and it looked really promising, but I've not heard anything back from them. I don't know how to get into this website. Let me see if I can get in. I think they gave me a password. It's actually a really good tool, but it seems so competitive now. All right, let me put it up over here. So this is it. This is Create. Okay, they have been working on it. So now they've got Stripe integration, Superbase integration, and Stripe. Okay, cool. They've done it. You can now add Stripe product links directly without any hassle. Awesome. I'm going to revisit this then. So yeah, I initially made it in here 17 days ago. This is the version I was working on. So I'm just going to keep editing it in here now that I've got it. I've got the back end set up. So I had to set it up in Superbase. I had to import my CSV so I could start making the pages. And loads of them, they're supposed to have the map, and then it's going to have the street view here, and then the reviews under here, and then you can claim the business. And then, okay, that page doesn't work. It's supposed to work, but you can claim your business, you can add a business, and then you can upsell to the business as well. So the hope is that you can rank better than they have, and in most cases you can. Of course, with these local directories, so many of these small businesses know nothing about SEO. And I think I might put a view counter on the pages as well. So if you can demonstrate that you're getting traffic and you're sending them customers, and you reach out to them and you say, hey, I've got this page here, send them the link. And did you want to add any images? Is there any information you'd want to add to it? You can claim your site and make that an annual fee. Doesn't have to be a crazy amount, but you can make that an annual fee. And if they want to come, and they can update things and just manage things that way. So it's quite a cool concept. These directory sites are a cool concept. You just have to find an angle to get in there. But doing that, And also the fact that when you scrape, there is another video I was planning. I tried to record it the other day and the microphone wasn't on, but I was recording how I scrape the details. So there are many ways you can do it. You can use Python, but you can also just use something like Outscraper. And there's an opportunity to do enrichment. So you can get their LinkedIn posts, you can get all kinds of information in that one sheet, and then you can use that in your directory. So again, we're using vectors, we're using multiple layers of data, and then in the back end using AI to handle that data. So if you start to think outside the box, once you've got the data, you can do so much. So I'm going to keep building this out. This is my local, this is where I am. I'm in Buckinghamshire. So this is so simple. There's nobody doing this. So the fact that I'll be able to cover all of these businesses, and then once I've done it and it's all built, I've got all their email addresses and whatnot, so I can reach out to them, let them know about it. You can also upsell automation, SEO, so many different opportunities. So think outside the box with the directory sites. Of course, they're not always going to be local sites. You've got tech directory sites, you've got product directory sites, all kinds of different things. So think outside the box, but they can be built very easily. You can build attractive looking directories with all of these tools. I should have done a video on it, but I didn't know if they were still working on it. But this is more similar to Bolt. This is not a Windsurf competitor. This is similar to Bolt and Lovable. When I saw them, they were talking about integrating Supabase and making it easy. And it looks like they've done that now. And enhance. So you can enhance the prompt. You start typing. You can enhance it, which I thought was a cool feature. You've got the knowledge, which is what you add. You can add files to it. And when you're editing images, okay, no, we're 404s. I need something where that has an image that I can go to, because that's not gonna, none of these are going to. Okay, this is how it looked before I took it out. Image, here we go. So when you're editing images, just like Lovable have recently added this, I think they had this first, but you can just select the image and then swap it out. Upload your image or swap it out. So they're just making it easier and easier for us to do this. I'm definitely going to move it back into Creator now, not bother with Trae for this, but I've got a bunch of tokens. Yeah, so I might as well use it. But yeah, they're making things so much easier for us, so we may as well use it. What's going on here? Am I not doing this right? Oh, I'm clicking on the names. I'm trying to swap the image. So yeah. So I think that's it. I've got to go and parent now. So that's it. Let me just answer these questions. I've used Climb before it for Python. Yeah, Climb's awesome for that, for creating scripts. Trae has been great for making some projects using Llama Index and Composio. Not heard of those, for some agentic workflow automations. I'll definitely go and check that out. How long did it take you to build a directory? Sounds like you've got a lot of moving parts. Many moving parts. That's me in a nutshell. Yeah, full of moving parts. It would be cool if Trae and Bolt were to combine. That's the thing. We've got the website types of tools, and then we've got the desktop IDEs. And unless one of them does a thing where they've got their web version and their desktop version, they're not going to cross over. You have to move from one to the other. But the good thing is they're all connected to GitHub, so you can make those changes in the back end, which is what I'm doing with the directory. And then I'm going to just merge it or create another branch in GitHub and then open it up and then continue where I left off. So it's not so bad. Initially, it's quite scary. I knew nothing about GitHub. Like, well, I knew of it, but I didn't know how to use it. I didn't know about branches. And now that I know and understand these things, it's so much easier to do all of this and just bounce between projects. It's been a good stream, thank you. Yup. Yeah, check out Creator. It's not easy to find because this is still in beta, which is why I've got so many tokens. because they gave me beta access. So I definitely need to go. I've got so many of these tools and paid subscriptions that I don't get to use them in the way that I'm supposed to. And yes, I've got so many moving parts, and this is just one project of many. So yeah, but yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for talking in the chat. It's always nice to talk to someone rather than just talking at the screen with the lives especially. But nonetheless, I'm going to be more prepared going forward with these lives, and we can actually build things together, which would be cool. So we've got access to all of these tools. People send me their tools all the time, so I might just use them to do live builds, which would be quite fun. But that's it, guys. Until next time, peace.